so our next performer is going to be Dakshata, who is going to announce her name and the piece that she'll be playing as well. You want to go ahead?
My name is Dakshata Abhiman, and today I'll be playing the Soldier's March.
Right. And that was Dakshata performing The Soldier's March by Schumann, which is a nice short piece. All right, so, all right, cool. So I'm going to restart the poll again, and then if you have any verbal feedback, you can make sure to raise your hand. Whoops, wrong thing. Relaunch poll. All right, you guys can start filling that out. And then if you have any verbal feedback, you can raise your hand after you fill it out. Right, and yeah, Emma, if you want to go ahead.
I think you could put more dynamics and move a bit more, because you weren't really moving at all, and the articulation was pretty.
All right, yeah, I definitely agree with this points. We can definitely talk more about that in a bit. Anybody else? We get like maybe one more person. How about Sophie?
Let's see. Maybe use a little movement, but not too much, because for the song, you don't actually need that much movement to me, because it's just jumpy. And that, yeah.
Yeah, all right, cool. So I'll give another 10 seconds for the poll. I think one person hasn't filled it out yet. So just make sure to fill that out. Another 10 seconds to do that. Yeah, I definitely agree with both those points. In terms of both the dynamics, kind of focusing on that, and then also incorporating some movement in it as well. All right, so I'm gonna wrap up the poll now and share the result. Okay, so looking at the poll, dynamics, we got 1 vote for 2, 1 vote for 3, and 3 votes for 4. So overall, in terms of the dynamics, I think that's definitely something that can be focused on a little bit, especially since there's a lot of diminuendos and sections that kind of go from like loud to soft overall. So kind of working on that like dynamic phrasing and motion as you're working through the piece. Articulation, you got 3 votes for 3 and 2 votes for 4. Overall articulation was pretty good. I think we can work on making it like a little bit sharper in terms of like make it like very clean staccatos, but overall we can tell that you're working on expressing staccato and that there's the staccato that's in this piece, and there's clear like differences between the sections that are legato and staccato. In terms of balance, you got 3 votes for 3 and 2 votes for 4. In terms of the overall balance, I didn't hear too many issues for the most part. I would say maybe the right hand at some points got a little bit heavy. So I think kind of maybe focusing on like the overall like balance between both hands, and the left hand was pretty okay. I think it was just kind of the right hand, especially as I got higher. Sometimes it felt a little bit aggressive at times. So kind of maybe focusing on that. Phrasing was 3 votes for 3 and 2 votes for 4. It's the same as the last one. Once again, at stage 2, we didn't really talk about too much about phrasing, but yeah, I think that's definitely a good point to go over, because definitely as the melody, since it's like very staccato, it's very jumpy, as well as like rises and falls. I think the incorporation of phrasing is something that we can definitely talk more about within this piece. And the last part is movement. So you got 2 votes for 3, 2 votes for 4, and 1 vote for 5. So overall, I think movement is something that we can always work on overall, and incorporating maybe not too much movement, but definitely enough movement that kind of fits the character of the piece. And as Sophie mentioned, it's kind of like a very happy, jumpy piece that kind of goes through. So kind of maybe thinking through that in terms of the movement overall. Yeah. All right, so I have those saved, and